Hi guys, my name is Marley and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another themed reading vlog with a little challenge, and that is to read the oldest books on my Goodreads TBR. So for this year I've done these sort of vlogs where I read the highest rated books on my TBR, the lowest rated, etc. This past week I've been reading the oldest books on my TBR. Yes, I have already been filming this vlog. I'm filming the intro at the end, which I don't normally do. But basically, these are the books I'm going to be reading in this vlog. One of the oldest books on my TBR is Hold My Hand by Michael Barakiva. This is the sequel to One Man Guy. I read this book back in high school. Is that when it came out? Let's see the exact year it came out. It came out in 2014. So yeah, this was a really cute gay romance. It's YA, pretty traditional story of a young boy in high school that is coming to terms with his sexuality and falling in love for the first time. What makes this a little bit more unique is that our main character Alec is Armenian American, so there is a lot of talk of the Armenian culture as his parents are very Armenian. I really enjoyed this book back in the day, and then Michael decided to write a sequel a few years later. So this came out in 2019 and I've been wanting to read it ever since I found out that he did a sequel. So this is going to be one of the books that I read. The next one is kind of like a sequel, not really, but it is The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins. This is her second thriller after There's Someone Inside Your House, which I just read recently in another vlog, which I will definitely link if you want to check that out. But she has another YA thriller that she wrote. Because Stephanie Garber is an author that I have loved since I was a teenager with her YA contemporaries, I have been wanting to read her thrillers as well. This is going to follow like the trope of two girls going in the woods and then having to survive. I assume there's going to be some sort of killer or creepy stuff going on in the woods. I was not a huge fan of this book. I think I gave it 3 stars, so was hoping that this one would be better, but we'll see. And then the last one is another sequel, and that is going to be We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. This is the 3rd book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series, which is also a new TV show, which was great. I read the first book in this series like a few years ago, and then I just read the 2nd book last month because of the show, and then the 3rd book has also been on my TBR the longest because I did read that first book so long ago and I've been wanting to complete the series for a few years now. So those were 3 of the books that were on my TBR the longest. I did cheat a little bit. There is one other book series that was on my TBR longer than one of these books, but I don't own that book yet and I really want to own that series, so I'm cheating a little bit. But these are the 3 books I'm going to be reading. Hope you enjoy the vlog as I have already filmed it. Hey vlog. So I actually haven't filmed this intro yet, so I don't know what I have said or will say, but I'm 50% through We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han, the 3rd book in the Summer I Turned Pretty series, and honestly it is a rough one. I did hear from a friend that this was definitely the worst book and she started hating all the characters, and I am there with her. I am feeling that. Basically we did have a little bit of like a time jump, kind of all the books do, and then we'll get like sort of flashbacks throughout, but the characters are a little bit older now. Our main character is in college, but I just feel like the maturity level has not gone up. Like if anything it has gone down. I feel like I'm just disliking the characters, and maybe I'm just too old to read this. Like maybe if you are a teen you could relate to it more, but it's giving that whole like I'm 16, I'm old enough to do this, and it's like no you're not. You know when you get old enough and you're like, I don't relate to the teen, like I relate to the parents. Also, throughout this love triangle, I've kind of been going back and forth a little bit. Mainly in the books, I've been team Jeremiah. When I watched the show recently, I was more team Conrad. I don't know, I was kind of going back and forth. So going into this book, I was on a certain team, and I feel like now I am switching based on what's happening, which is sort of sad because I don't know, it's kind of sad that the relationship I preferred and the guy I preferred is now being tainted by what's going on. I just feel like it's getting super dramatic. Maybe Jenny Han just wanted a really dramatic like finale to the series, but I don't know, I just kind of feel like I want to rush through it and be done with it at this point. Luckily it is a very quick read, so I should be able to finish it like today or tomorrow. But yeah, I definitely feel like for the show, when they adapt this section of the books, I really hope they change things. I feel like they're gonna have to change things for me to like it and for it to be believable, because I really did like the show. So I'd highly recommend that, by the way, if you have not watched that. Yeah, obviously I'm being super vague because I don't want to spoil, as it's the third one in the series, but those are my initial thoughts of the first half. I finished it. I feel a little bit emotional finishing, you know, a series, ending this chapter, but I didn't really like it. As I alluded to, I think it was too juvenile for me at this point. I think it really should only be teenagers reading it in 2011 when it came out. So this was one of the oldest books on my TBR, and I do agree that it feels dated. I feel like the ending was a little bit rushed as well. I don't know, the person she ends up with, I just wasn't feeling it, and I feel like there was a lesson learned or lesson to be learned that she didn't learn. Like, there was something she was too young to do, and then she still ends up doing it too young. Like, you know what I mean? And as I said before, I just really hope the show like improves upon this. I think the show was doing a better job of showing all the different relationships. The book is only really focused on the romance, and so I really like that the show does focus more on the other relationships. I don't know, I just feel like I'm left feeling kind of sad from this. Like, I'm not feeling like, it's just always complicated if it's a love triangle with brothers, like with family. Like, it just gets too messy. It's a little too messy. Oh, there's Peach. So that's it for this book. Let's move along. So I am now halfway through The Woods Are Always Watching. I keep making all my updates when I'm looking a mess and like in my PJs. Sorry. Yeah, this is bad. Like, I don't want to use the word bad, but it's not great. I think it's worse than the first thriller of hers, There's Someone Inside Your House. So pretty much we're following these two friends, Nina and Josie, and they've been friends throughout high school, and now they've graduated, and the one friend is moving away to college, the other one's staying home. Classic. So they go on this hike or like camping trip together to sort of bond and have this nice time together before they are separated. Basically, the first half was pretty boring. It's pretty much just these two girls camping. Not a ton's happening. A little bit of hints are happening of like, oh, is there something going on in the woods? But what's really weird about it is the narration and the points of view. Both girls are getting a point of view, but it's very, very confusing on whose point of view it is, at least for me. It seems to just switch back and forth without any notice. And because these two girls are just together this whole time, their points of view just totally blend together for me. I don't know who's talking a lot of the time. I really have to focus on it. It's not good. It wasn't a good call. This whole time I've been like, she should have just chosen one of the girls to focus on, since they're just together the whole time. Now, as you saw, the first part was called Together, and now I just reached the Apart section, so they did get separated. So now the dual point of view will make sense and will probably be better, but the first half, it was pretty rough. The most entertaining thing about it was probably the girls fighting. It was building up to it a little bit. They were disagreeing on some things, and there's definitely some jealousy within the friendship, and they're also very different, so they actually got in a really big fight, which was interesting to see. But I just feel like these girls are kind of dumb for doing this. Like, they are not experienced campers. This seems like kind of a dangerous decision to do, of just like hiking for like 3 days, camping, literally bringing their own food and water. Like, it's pretty dangerous for these two like 17-year-old girls to do. I don't know, and I just feel like, why did people let them do this? Because like, they prioritized bringing like marshmallows and chocolate over like something they actually needed and stuff like that. Definitely feeling pretty juvenile, which seems to be the theme for these books, which makes sense if they're the oldest books on my TBR. I obviously was probably a bit younger when I put them on my TBR. My taste was a little bit different and younger. It's too bad, but yeah, hopefully it gets a little better now that, as I said, the girls are separated, and I assume the plot's gonna pick up. I'm getting the vibe that it's going to be a killer, and it's not gonna be anything spooky like paranormal. But yeah, it might have been because I've been so tired today, but I was falling asleep reading this. It was a pretty boring first half. Hey, on my way to my mom's house for the day. We'll have lots of time to read on the train, and then we are seeing a show tonight. Let's go. Okay, this book has actually gotten better in the second half, and it's also very graphic. So definitely a warning for that if you're gonna read it. But yeah, once the girls got separated, like, things started happening. It's gotten very gross. I'm actually kind of shocked by what's happened, which is nice because it was so boring before. So I actually am enjoying it. It makes me like never want to hike, never want to camp. But yeah, this is scary. I'm feeling like maybe I'll like this better than her other thriller. I'm not sure yet, but yeah. Look what's here. And the list. Has she started? No. So I won like 80 bucks tonight at the casino, so that was fun. And we saw the musical version of Ghost, like the movie Ghost, but a musical. My mom got the tickets free at the casino, and we were in Niagara Falls, if anyone was wondering. But on my way here, I did finish There's Someone in the The Woods Are Always Watching when I was on the bus, because I took a train and a bus to get here. As I said, I think the second half was definitely better. I actually quite liked the friendship theme throughout, even though I said I liked to see them fighting because it was entertaining. Like, I also just liked the message at the end for their friendship. It's very much like a survival story if you are into that. It goes with a lot of those tropes, like just trying to survive in the woods. I think I might have said it gets graphic, violent, creepy, gross. I do feel like Stephanie Perkins went into some very like real directions. Like, I don't think I mentioned, she talked about, or the characters talked about having their periods, which I kind of liked, because I feel like in a lot of media the characters don't really talk about that. But like, while camping, the one girl got her period and had to deal with it, or like it talked about how they had to go to the washroom in the woods, like stuff like that I feel like is never really talked about. So there were definitely things I liked about it, but I'm gonna give it 3 stars just because it was still kind of mediocre. I also don't think I said, but I ended up giving 2.5 stars to We'll Always Have Summer. So not the best vlog, but honestly not shocked, because this challenge is reading the oldest books on my TBR. So my taste was not always as good as it is now. On my way home tomorrow, I'm gonna have a pretty big journey ahead again, most likely, so I will start the final book. Here's some things I bought this weekend. I went to Le Vion Rose and I got a new bathing suit that basically is this pale pink color with the bottoms. And then I got this kind of like a romper cover-up shawl thingy that has this like flowery print. And then because I spent a certain amount of money, they gave me this beach towel or beach blanket for a cheaper price. So I was like, sure. From a different place, I got this little card and cash holder so I can have something smaller than my wallet. Then I got a couple pairs of shoes. So I got a high heel black shoe because I don't really have any heels, so. And then a similar look, but it's a sandal. Pretty similar style, but it's not a heel, it's a sandal. Then I went to Dynamite and got a bunch of clothes. So this little top, the crop top, and then I got another color as well, just so I had more than just black. Then I got these like leather pants. They're pretty cool, even if I won't wear them a lot in the summer now. But I did wear these last night, so I still could wear them. And then I got this black skirt, and then a longer black skirt. So yeah, that's my haul, and I already posted a picture on one of these outfits last night, and I actually got like multiple compliments on it on Instagram, so yeah. Hey peeps, so I'm halfway through Hold My Hand by Michael Barakiva. So pretty much it's following our main character Alec. He is an American Armenian boy. He's about 15 and he's been dating his boyfriend Ethan for about 6 months, and obviously we saw all of that in the first book. So this is kind of following a few different tropes I've seen in like a second book in a romance for teens, where like things are starting to get a little bit more serious and sex is a topic that is coming up, especially because Ethan is more experienced than Alec, and I think that part has been done pretty well. There was actually a very comedic scene where Alec finally brings up the topic of sex to Ethan, and Ethan is sort of teaching him about it, because this poor boy Alec, like, he's from such a religious and protective family where he does not have access to a lot of the ways that people find out about sex, like online and stuff. So he really doesn't know much about sex, or at least gay sex. So it's pretty funny. Like, I don't want to get too detailed about it, but like when talking about it, they relate it to food. So instead of like a hot dog, Alec is like, well, let's do the Armenian version, so a kebab. And then instead of talking about like buns, they call it a pita, if you know what I mean. Like, it was just like a cute scene, and I have been actually quite liking it, even though again it's definitely very YA, and those are not really my favorites when it's a YA contemporary anymore. But I think Alec is still a character that I can relate to due to him being a little bit nerdy and wanting to be like a good kid and like respect his parents and stuff like that. And then the Armenian culture stuff is also interesting. I don't know a ton about Armenian culture other than reading the first book in the series and now this one, so that is interesting to read about. And I still am finding the relationship between these two boys to be very cute. Unfortunately, we have sort of hit the conflict in the book, and it's making me a little bit sad. I don't know if like they're gonna end up together or not. Michael actually dedicated this book to all of his exes at the beginning of the book, so I'm kind of scared that this is gonna be like a breaking up story, which is sad. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they can like get through it, but with what just happened, I'm hoping it's a misunderstanding. I'm hoping what Alec thinks happened didn't actually happen. You know what I mean? I'm being vague. But yeah, it's pretty cute. It was very easy to just sort of binge a bunch of it on my commute yesterday. I feel like I maybe could finish the rest of it tonight. But yeah, so far it's pretty cute. Just now that we're getting into the angsty part, like, I hope it all turns out okay. Hey guys, we are back in the beginning spot, just filmed the intro, but last night I finished Hold My Hand. I think I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. I really liked it. I think it was my favorite book. Well, yeah, obviously it was my favorite book of the three. It is pretty like tropey, has a lot of those YA tropes, but it was still really enjoyable. It was reminding me of like Love, Victor, which is the show I really like. And I also want to say, like, if you like reading books about food, you should definitely read this series because they talk about food so much in such a like delicious way. It just makes me want to eat all the food that they're eating in the book. But unfortunately, what I was saying earlier about the conflict happening in the relationship, I wasn't really happy with it. I'm just gonna kind of say it, that it has to do with cheating. As most people would agree with me, it just really sucks when there's cheating in a fictional relationship. It really taints it, and I know it can be pretty common in YA books, but I just don't like it. And I really wish that hadn't been like the main conflict in this book. I wish there could have been something else that these characters were dealing with and struggling with. That being said, Michael did probably the best job he could to make us empathize with the person that did the cheating, and like he did a pretty good job of making up for it, I guess, but like it's just really hard to look past that. Even though as a teenager, like you don't really know as much, you're more immature and probably more likely to cheat. I don't know, it just didn't really sit great with me. What also kind of sucked is that Alec, our main character, like really was not putting up with it. I actually really respected him for that. He was really like advocating for himself, or like not taking no shit, but then everyone around him was like saying that he should forgive Ethan, and everyone around him was making him feel like he was crazy for being mad about this, and that really bothered me. So that made me have to drop the rating a little bit. But otherwise, I really adore Alec. I like Ethan, except for the thing that happened. I really like Alec's family. I like a lot of stuff about this book. So I think this is my favorite one, 3.5. Then I would say the next favorite would be The Woods Are Always Watching at 3 stars, and then We'll Always Have Summer. I think I gave 2 or 2.5, and that was the worst one. Not the most successful vlog. These challenges aren't really turning out that successful, but at least it is getting a lot of books off my TBR that I was not otherwise prioritizing. So that's the end of this vlog. Hope you guys like it. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what's the oldest book on your TBR, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.